Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad HELMI bin NGAH. Okay, for the first part is Montenegro is a country of Southeastern Europe and it is located on the Adriatic Sea. Montenegro is a part of the Balkans and sharing borders with Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, Albania and Croatia, and it is also maritime boundary with the Italy. The capital and the largest city of Montenegro is Podgorica, and it covers 10.4% of Montenegro's territory of 13,812 square kilometers, and is home to roughly 30% of its total population of 621,000 people. Next, with a total of 1.6 million visitors, Montenegro is, as of 2017, the 36th most visited country out of 47 in Europe. So this can describe it as the second fastest growing tourism market in the world. Okay, for the next part is tourism potential in Montenegro. Okay, tourism is the most important export sector in Montenegro with a share of 22% of the GDP and a strong tendency to growth. Okay, firstly, Montenegro has a great potential in ecotourism. This is because in Montenegro there is life that has hardly changed in 100 years and popular beaches that manage to retain its local flavor. On and off the runway, Montenegro offers many opportunities for visitors to explore the natural landscape, connect with the locals, and the custom in an sustainable way. As such, this made Montenegro an ecotourism paradise. Secondly, Montenegro also has a sea coast with a total land of 294 kilometers, and the most indented part of the land coast is the Bay of Kotor. Therefore, the Montenegro is in a good position for the development of nautical tourism.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad HAZIQ bin RAFI. My metric number is 281874, and I will talk about the type of resort that can be built in Montenegro. So, as everyone know, Montenegro's nickname is a Black Mountain, and despite it's famous for its 300-kilometer coastline, the best type of resort that can be built is a mountain resort. So, why a mountain resort? So, number one is that mountain resorts are very limited in Montenegro compared to other types of resorts, with most of them are beach resorts. So, mountain areas in Montenegro actually did not fully utilize as a tourist destination because it is quite difficult to build a resort. But with careful planning and development, we can build a mountain resort in Montenegro. Mountains are like a therapy for tourists to calm and relax after a very tiring holiday, and this leads to mountains have their natural surroundings. When you go to every mountain, you can enjoy the surroundings where you can feel relaxed and calm, right? And mountains are natural, so there is no man-made mountains in the world. So by building a mountain resort, like I said, tourists can enjoy the surroundings while having a rest. And while having a rest, this leads to another point where they can enjoy some breathtaking and scenic views as well. As we all know, every time when we want to go to travel, we always snap pictures, and this is the perfect opportunity to snap pictures to create wonderful memories, because this is like a once in a lifetime. So by the scenic views, everyone can look of how beautiful it is. Activities in mountain resorts are equally fun as activities in other places and other resorts. Mountain resorts provide great range of activities for both locals and tourists to enjoy, such as ride on mountain bikes, wall climbing, and hike on great trails to challenge ourselves. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Hello and good morning, my name is YONG and my matching number is 2796819. I will continue to the part on the government or public policy pertaining to Montenegro and development at Montenegro. Before that, I will talk a little bit on why is the policy planning and development important in the tourism industry. Tourism planning should be an internal part of any destination tourism development plan in order to achieve the best result and satisfy all the stakeholders. It can be defined that the higher purpose of tourism policy is to integrate the economic, political, cultural, and intellectual benefit of tourism comprehensively with the people, destination, and country, in order to improve the global quality of life and provide a foundation for peace and prosperity. Furthermore, the benefit of tourism development is enable a range of benefits to all stakeholders involved. For example, it increase income and job from tourist spending, help preserve cultural and natural heritage for tourists, increase understanding of other cultural, and also build a new facility such as sewage for whole community or new road. Next, in terms of the National Sustainable Development Strategy by 2030 and the accompanying action plan, Montenegro committed to improve the local entrepreneurial infrastructure and the business environment for SME development and entrepreneurship toward the operationalizing national and the local tourism business zone through financial support for infrastructure development, better promotion, tax and administrative facility at the center and local level. The aim is to provide an additional facility for investors in the northeast and central region of Montenegro through the model of the tourism development zone. Define the model of establishing, managing, and operational of the zone of national interest and introduce incentive for the property investors. Strengthen incentive and tax facility in tourism to foster the development of high category hotels and building new form of tourism product in line with the sustainable development principle and the strategy planning document. That's all from me, and I will pass to the next video. Thank you.
Hello, this is Chung here, and I'll be continuing on the second tourism policy of Montenegro. The second policy is a focus on the significance of culture as a fundamental value of spiritual, social, and economic development. What this means is by putting an emphasis on Montenegro's culture to promote it as a niche tourism market, which is called cultural tourism or heritage tourism, depending on the context. And this policy puts a more emphasis on culture and sustainable tourism or ecotourism in general to boost the country's economic development. The third policy here is that resource efficiency needs to be improved in tourism. What this meant is by we are putting more green investment and green initiative in the development of the hospitality and touring industry. What this means is that during the development of the resort or anything related to the tourism or hospitality industry, we need to put an emphasis on water usage and waste management. Even during and after the development is finished, we need to put an emphasis on that. How can we do this is by introducing green technologies like being recycling, using more clean energy like wind or solar, or recycling garbage to turn it into energy, and so on and so forth. Okay, moving on to the tourism policy in Montenegro's strategic framework, we have identified a few key points in the strategic framework. The first of all is that Montenegro aims to diversify its tourism product. This is due to the fact that previous tourism development concepts include an insufficient number of high-quality establishment or accommodation, and they have a lot of regional disparities, and they are still highly pronounced seasonality. What this all means is that in Montenegro's tourism industry currently, there aren't a lot of high-quality accommodations like a resort, for example, because they were more focused on the cheap, low-end cost of the tourism spectrum, like living together with the culture there or the locals there. And the tourism industry there is still very seasonal because it's affected by the four seasons there, the summer, the winter. For example, for beach tourism, it's going to be largely affected in the winter because it's not very attractive for other people to visit the beach during winter. So a way to circumvent this is to be focusing on the three tourism industry here, which is health tourism, rural tourism, and cultural tourism. For our case, we'll be more focusing on rural tourism and cultural tourism because we want places in Montenegro that are untouched by mass tourism. So one of the few good candidates here is rural tourism. because we can open a resort at a rural place to attract potential visitors. So a quick recap of what we have covered so far. We have covered about improving local entrepreneurship infrastructure and business environment for SME development and entrepreneurship, increasing the significance of culture in the tourism industry, and increasing resource efficiency in the tourism industry. We have focused on Montenegro's need to diversify the tourism product due to insufficient number of high-quality accommodation establishment like a result, huge regional disparities, and still highly pronounced seasonality. We can do all of this by focusing on the rural tourism and cultural tourism of Montenegro. And that's all from me. We'll be moving on to the next part.
Hi everyone, my name is KOKKILAH, VARATHARASAN, my matric number 2A1109. Okay, I'm continuing with tourism planning process. The first step is studying preparation. At this stage, planning process is associated with the recognition of the needs of the strategy in order to obtain and increase the competitive advantage to contribute to the long-term growth. Depending on the available budget and a range of other factors, plan to be conducted on national level. The second stage is the determination of goal and objective. Our goal is be the best resort and one of the main tourist spots at Montenegro. The objective of our plan is provide the exclusive needs of a reasonable administration for people seeking a relaxed, pleasant, and important encounter in hospitality and tourism industry. The third step in tourism planning process is surveying. So we choose qualitative research method, which is document and artifact collection. For example, past research documents, website, and blogs. Stage in planning process is analysis and synthesis. Okay, here is the graph of tourism arrival data from 2010 to 2022. Okay, here is clearly shows that the rapid growth of tourism arrival at Montenegro. So there are rapid growth until 2020. After the 2020, everyone knows that everyone is affected by COVID-19 and now is getting back to normal. So we can see that our current situation is the tourist arrival is increasing. That's all from me. I'll pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, KOKKILAH. Now I will continue to the next stage of the tourism planning process, which is the plan formulations. First of all, I want to introduce first myself. My name is NURUL and Aqilah binti ZAIDI, and matric number 276925. As the next stage in the planning process, the overall analysis of primary and secondary information allow the decision maker to develop initial policy and draw up initial plans. Here, I want to explain a little bit. The best practice is to prepare a few alternatives to the initial tourism development plans. So developers could then choose which of the alternatives that can be implemented to achieve the planning goals and that obey to national policies. So for the resort that will be developed in Montenegro, we have examined all from the data obtained for the success of this development. From this data can help developers make decisions for resort development there. Next step is recommendations. This stage is critical because it serves as a guide for the developer to comprehend what actions are required in order to implement the plans. As a result of the initial policy and plan development, a set of recommendations can be developed. So several suggestions have surfaced regarding the location of the resort in Montenegro, because Montenegro has the greatest potential to become a popular tourist destination. Montenegro is ideal for water sports, bird watching, horseback riding, and fishing, and is ready for development as a port for yacht, beach, and marinas. As a result, it will become a tourist attraction, and resort developer will be able to establish themselves quickly. So with all these recommendations, can give a little bit to the developer to start the next step. Implementation. Before it can be implemented, a tourism development plan must be approved by a government agency. Strategy level executive can put recommendation that they find appropriate and work in actions. Because this stage involve interstate interventions, it requires approval from the Montenegrin Regional Development Council. This should also be implemented in Montenegro based on a long-term plan for outcome. The final stage of the planning process involves monitoring the level and nature of plan implementation and again in strategy reformulation if change in the internal and especially external environment required doing so. The environment of Montenegro will be measured to ensure that each is in accordance with the specifications of suitability for setting up the resort. This is to ensure that the construction work is in accordance with the standards that have been set to build the resort. This is to see the development of each resort building process in Montenegro. Okay, that's all for our group. Thank you.